All right, so picture this, okay?
Okay.
A house, but not just any house.
Right.
A house so big, it practically needs its own zip code.
Wow.
We're diving into the Olana today,
Okay.
formerly known as Champdor.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Hickory Creek, Texas.
Okay, I'm with you.
Well, now, this isn't just some McMansion, we're
Mm-hmm.
talking like 48,000 square feet.
That's enormous.
It's massive.
Wow.
It's what happens when you take like those Texas-sized dreams
Yeah.
and you mix them with like, I don't know, the grandeur of a French chateau.
Well, and that's what's so fascinating, right? I mean, the original owners,
It's
the Goldfields, they were inspired by a very specific chateau, the Chateau de Vaux-le-Vicomte.
Wow.
And they wanted that, like, fairy tale elegance, that
Yeah.
slice of European history right
Yeah.
there in Texas.
Ambitious.
It really was.
It really, really was.
Let's talk about a statement.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just the size, it's the detail.
Oh, I bet.
Meticulously crafted architecture, gardens, I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Okay, they poured their heart and soul into this place, right?
Yeah.
Probably a good chunk of their fortune, too, let's be honest.
Of course, yeah.
And they put it up for sale, and they went for sale. Crickets.
Really?
Crickets chirping.
Wow.
It sat on the market for ages,
No kidding.
even among the ultra-wealthy.
Huh.
So was it a case of too much of a good thing?
It's possible.
I mean, I love a walk-in closet, don't get me wrong.
Sure, who doesn't?
But I was reading this one article,
Yeah.
and they compared this place to some celebrity's mansion with a 2-story Chanel-inspired closet.
Oh my gosh.
Who needs that much space for clothes?
You know, that's the thing about these, like, fashion projects sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes the awe-inspiring, it overshadows the practicalities of living in a place,
Totally.
even for the super rich.
Yeah.
Imagine the upkeep, right?
I can't even imagine.
The pressure to make every little thing you buy
Yes.
match the grandeur.
It'd be like living in a museum.
Exactly. You're afraid to, like, touch anything.
Right. You can't relax.
It's less about a comfortable home at that point.
Yeah.
And more about this, like, grand spectacle.
Right.
Maybe for some people that's appealing.
I guess.
But for most people,
Yeah.
even if you are ultra wealthy,
Right.
there's this desire for a sense of home.
Totally.
You want to be able to, like, put your feet up,
Exactly.
you know, personalize it a little bit.
Right.
And you can't really do that with a meticulously recreated French chateau.
Okay, but here's the plot twist.
Okay.
Fast forward to today.
Yeah.
The Olana. It's not a dusty relic.
Really?
It's thriving.
Wow.
It found new life as, get this, a wedding and event venue.
Oh, interesting.
It's doing great.
Wow.
It's under the ownership now of Walter's Wedding Estates.
Okay.
They specialize in these extravagant locations.
Oh, smart.
It is smart.
Makes sense.
It's like brilliant. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this whole repurposing of historic mansions.
Right.
We're seeing it more and more. People crave that unique experience, you know?
They do.
It's more than just your typical ballroom.
Totally.
They want a story,
Yes.
a sense of history.
Mm.
And what better place to get that than a mansion that just, like, oozes opulence?
Right. You're not just renting a space.
Exactly.
Renting an experience.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, the details in this article about the Olana's transformation, incredible.
Oh, tell me more.
We're talking ballroom fit for royalty.
Wow.
An indoor pool that's practically a lagoon.
No kid.
You get the picture.
Oh, I do.
It's extravagant.
And you said 2-story closet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What?
They describe it as a fashion runway experience.
Oh, stop.
I'm serious.
Can you imagine?
Getting ready in a closet like that.
I can't even fathom.
My brain can't even comprehend a closet that big.
Seriously.
Talk about a walk-in closet.
Right?
More like a walkthrough and get lost in.
Right, exactly.
And get this.
Yeah, what?
It's not just the fancy stuff.
Okay.
They've got a bowling alley,
No way.
a home theater,
Come on.
all these like unexpected amenities.
Wow. It's like an amusement park for the ultra-rich.
Right. Who needs to leave the house when you've got all
Yeah.
that?
Right. I mean, seriously, this is where I geek out a little.
Tell me more.
Okay, so this article, it compares the Olana to other massive estates in Texas, right?
Yeah.
And what gets me is, like,
Yeah.
how intentional the Goldfields were
Okay.
about that French chateau style.
Right.
You've got places like Villa Maria,
Mm-hmm.
that's Italian Renaissance, right?
Right.
Hickory Creek Ranch, super rustic, very Texas.
Yeah.
But the Olana, they went all in
They did that.
on one Very specific, very elaborate fantasy.
Right. It's like they were curating this
Yeah,
very specific lifestyle, this image with
exactly.
this house.
Yeah,
And I can see why it was a hard sell
totally.
as a private
That's
resident.
a lot, you know?
Not everyone wants to live in their own Versailles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gets to that point, like the enduring power of the French chateau
Oh, yeah.
in our minds, right?
It's like a fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale, it's an escape.
Right.
And the Olana, even now, as an event space, it still has that.
It's true. It's true.
It's not just a venue.
It's more than that.
It's selling that experience. It's selling a fantasy.
Right. And people buy into it.
They do, especially for like a big event,
Oh, 100%.
you know, a wedding.
Which leads us to the price difference.
Oh, yeah.
This is wild.
Laid on me.
Okay, so they listed it originally for $72 million.
Okay.
Now, as a wedding venue,
Yeah.
it's valued around $7.35 million. That's a markdown.
It's huge. It's huge. And it shows you how, like, intended use can really impact an estate's value.
Right.
Like a private residence, that opulent hard sell, even
Not
for the
just
super rich.
Right, even for them.
But as a business,
Yeah.
as an event space, the equation changes.
It makes sense.
It's about experience. It's about its potential to make money.
Right. It's an investment at that point.
Right. Businesses, they're more likely to see
Yeah.
the value there.
Totally. Totally.
Especially when there's already a market for these, like, high-end events.
Exactly. So it's not just about
Right.
square footage, amenities.
It's more than that.
It's about the story.
This story,
Yeah,
yeah.
Olana, it went from this cautionary tale,
Right.
maybe of ambition, you know, maybe a little over-the-top ambition,
Yeah.
to a thriving business
It's true.
by opening its doors to the public.
I love that.
It's kind of ironic.
It is, and it speaks to how luxury is changing.
Right.
Status.
Yeah.
It used to be about owning something nobody else could have
Right, right.
hidden away.
Yes, 100%.
Now it's about these experiences,
That's
sharing
nice.
those moments,
Yeah.
even if you don't own it,
I like that.
you know? And the Olana, it kind of stumbled into this,
They did, yeah.
but it's definitely a trend.
It is.
We're seeing it more and more.
And it got me thinking, like,
Yeah.
this whole experience over ownership thing,
Yeah, tell me more.
like all the things we used to think of
Yeah.
as like status symbols,
Mm.
fancy cars, clothes, mansions. Right.
Right.
And now there's a service for everything.
There is. You want to drive a fancy car for a day?
Exactly.
There's an app for that.
You can rent a designer dress.
Exactly.
It's like we're shifting
Totally.
from I own this to I did this, I experienced this.
Love that.
And I don't know, there's something kind of freeing about that.
Right.
But what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's...
It really is something, you know,
I
this
get-
whole idea of like experiencing something versus owning it.
Yeah.
Think about the Olana, right? It was supposed to be this private, like, sanctuary, almost this monument, you know.
Right, to this one couple's vision.
Exactly.
Right.
And now
Yeah.
it's like it's found this new purpose,
It's...
this bigger stage
Yeah.
by letting people in.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like,
Yeah.
if that wasn't part of what made these estates, I don't know, so appealing in the first place. Like,
Okay.
there's a certain loneliness to a place that big.
Oh, 100%.
If it's not full of, you know,
Life.
life, yeah, people, stories.
It's like the house itself is a guest of honor at every party.
Right. And think about all the stories it could tell
Oh, I know, right.
from those early days, right? With the gold fields and their dreams
Right.
to, like, this whole second act is pretty amazing.
Good point. It's like,
It speaks to how these places last, you know? They
Yeah.
change with the times.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we're caretakers of these places now.
Yeah.
We get to experience them,
Yeah.
but in new ways.
Right, exactly.
So, okay, I got to ask.
Okay.
If you had to choose,
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
would you rather have owned the Olana back in the day?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all that solitary splendor? Or would you rather go to like a gala there now?
Oh, that's tough.
Right.
Part of me, like,
Yeah.
loves the idea of wandering those halls.
Right.
Just peace and quiet, you know, all that history.
Yeah.
But then again, there's something magical about, like,
Yeah.
being part of a celebration
Yes.
in a place like that.
100%.
You know that, like, you're adding to its story.
You're adding your brushstroke to this, like,
Right.
this grand painting. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not just about the place. It's about
yeah.
the collective experience,
Right.
the energy.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
that's what the Goldfields were missing.
Maybe. Maybe they built this.
They built this amazing stage.
They did.
But they forgot to invite anyone to the show.
Right. Or maybe...
Or maybe they were just ahead of their time.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
It's true. Either way.
The Olana is still here.
There you go.
It's a good reminder that even the grandest visions, sometimes they need to adapt.
Totally.
To survive.
There you have it, folks. The Olana. A Texas-sized dream that found its true calling in, well, a pretty unexpected way.
It did.
If you want to learn more about the Olana, maybe picture yourself at a fancy party there.
So fun.
Or who knows, your wedding.
Right.
The link to the article is in our show notes.
Definitely check it out.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving.
And remember, sometimes the greatest discoveries
yes.
are right in front of you.